Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the Coletrain interviews. I'm your host, Coletrain of the Train Talks podcast. We are back with another in-person interview. Our last in-person interview was very, very fun, very, very hilarious, and we're bringing these back again to end the year out. This will probably be one of our final interviews of 2024, as I have a couple people lined up to end the year on a very strong note. We hope your October is going very well. This will probably be released in October 2024 sometime. I don't know what day, but hope y'all October is going well. Hope y'all 2024 has going great, as well as mine has gone. Professionally, like personally, it's been rock roller coaster, but professionally, it has been a fun year. And thank y'all so much for supporting over 20 plus episodes of the Coletrain interviews, and it just get better and better and better as the weeks go along. But today's interview will be a very, very special interview. It will be the first ever international student that I have ever interviewed on the Coletrain interviews. It will be the first African, fully born African I have interviewed here. This guy is from Kenya. He is from the continent of Africa, fully fledged here, but he was raised here in Louisiana. So this is, by the way, this is a Louisiana interview. And I am honored to have Mr. Festin here finally here on the Train Talks podcast, here for the Coletrain interviews. You're making history. The first African I've interviewed.
Wait, really?
Yes.
So not even Lucky or anybody?
No, sir. I've been trying to get Lucky on the podcast all year long. He still has not come on. So you are the first. You're a history maker. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. I mean, to be honest, I just woke up like not too long ago, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm happy to be on here. You know what I mean? I've never been on a podcast before, nor an interview like this. So I mean, hell,
yeah. So you see when my shirt said we're literally rooting for everyone Black, that is in the African American community and outside of the diaspora. So that I mean my shirts, y'all. So yeah, it's good to see you here. Yeah, he literally did wake up. We're a little behind schedule with this interview, and to the patrons of the awesome Train Talks podcast and the Coletrain channel, we really appreciate y'all for Patreon. If y'all want to be a Patreon, patreon.com/Coletrain. Unfortunately, y'all did not get what y'all personally requested here for this podcast, but we'll have to make that one up another time. So y'all know what y'all requested. I'm not gonna go into any further detail, but if you want to know what the Patreons requested, you can join us on Patreon. Shameless plug here at Coletrain, and y'all can request things that y'all want for each video, and y'all get exclusive videos like our lovely friend AJ. AJ has been exclusive to the Train Talks Patreon podcast page, where he has been answering questions that you guys have been personally asking him that cannot go on YouTube, because some of the things that y'all ask me in these emails cannot be on YouTube, because y'all interesting, very interesting people. But yeah, so the Patreons, I am sorry for your portion of the Train Talk podcast that will be there. The thing that y'all wanted to happen did not happen for this podcast. You can blame him because he said no. But we gonna move on with the next thing. First off thing, so Festin, how did you come to America? How did that story happen? So you're originally from Kenya.
Yep.
So where, what time period did you come here to America? How did that happen?
So like my father, right? He managed to get a scholarship to go to Southern University for graduate studies. Right?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because his brother taught there. So he was like, okay, let me come to Louisiana. So he left us back in Kenya for a little minute. Then he came for us like in 2004, and he was like, hey, y'all, come over here to America. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice. You know what I mean? To be honest, I was brought here without my consent. Like, you know what I mean?
What?
Hey, if I had a choice, I'd have stayed back home, bro. I'm not trying to deal with stress at university, but yeah, that's how my whole story in America came. You know what I mean?
So it was because of your father that you're here, and now you're here at university. What made you? Your father was from you gotta say with emphasis, the Southern University of BR. So why didn't you go to Southern?
Well, for one, my father went, like, he was teaching at the school at the time. He obtained his PhD there in mathematics and another PhD in urban forestry. So he knows like a lot of the faculty there. And what if like some news spread and then my father found out? Another thing, I wanted to spread out. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to come here knowing that I won't be watched as much. I wouldn't be staying with my parents as much. You know what I mean? I was just trying to be free. And plus, bro.
So you were trying to be an outside kid.
Yes.
He was. If you know, you know. If you watching this podcast, you know him personally. Hey, brother, his first year, boy, woo.
Man, and the thing is, bro.
Yeah, he was rolling back then, though. Hey, look, all the college students, I interviewed on this podcast. We know what we mean because everybody went through it. I always tell this story here on the podcast that my freshman year literally was a movie. It was. I can't say everything that I did that year, but boy, I was outside. I was.
Yeah, no, I feel like every freshman has to go through that experience. Like, not ever. I mean, it's better not that you don't go through it, but like, I feel like it develops you as a character. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I felt, Festin, you went through that experience, and it made you a better man now. And now, you're on track. If we're gonna knock on the wood, next year you'll be a college graduate.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, hey, maybe a better man, more tired man. But
So tell people what do you do in college? What is your major? What are you actively involved in? Because I know being an international student, I know that we just had a meeting for the Black Student Union about this on Monday, but I know that it's different. It's a different lifestyle because I know you like I said, you came from Kenya because your father wanted to go to grad school. Now he's working at Southern University, and so you kind of was forced to come. But how did you adapt to American culture, and how did you adapt to college American culture? Because I know that's different from like where you come from, your hometown.
It is different. So like adapting to American culture, man, that thing was tough, bro. So I came here, I had a stronger accent. Like I was strong. Like I was like, my name is Festin Osimbo. Hello, teacher. Can I go to the bathroom? You know what I mean? So they put me in English second language, bro. Like even though I was fluent in English already, I'll be with an accent. And I had to learn how to like speak like my peers around me. I had to learn how to understand like the social norms and whatnot. You know what I mean? And it took a minute because like at home, I'm out here living life in mini Africa, right? I go outside. I'm in Louisiana. It's different. Like I remember the first time I heard the word churn, I thought they were talking about butter churn. No, they're talking about children. I was confused. I was like, yo. But now college life, I thought I would be ready for it. I was not ready for it at all. Like, well, let me tell you something. College students be out there, like these American college students. And so like my father, the way he experienced college, he told me like, oh yeah, you just have to go study and go to school, you make friends, friends and go eat lunch. But I was not prepared for partying, nor was I prepared for the other extracurricular activities. But you know what? Eventually when I had all my stuff sorted out, I got myself involved into like the Black Student Union, International Student Union, and y'all want to know probably what I'm studying? I'm studying sociology. You know what I mean? Like I have an interest in how people interact. You know what I mean?
So what for the people that are trying to possibly Googling right now what the hell you just said? What is sociology?
Well, sociology is the study of like how these interrelated institutions affect us. And by the way they affect us, how we interact with each other and whatnot. And like in all those relations, pretty much, you know what I mean? So it's really just the study of society in like fancy people terms, you know what I mean? Like,
so what types of jobs do sociologists have? So like, what types of things that they do?
Well, we can be political analysts, we can be HR, we can be project managers, we can be park rangers. We can also just be researchers, like if you want to stay in the academic field, but I'm not trying to do that. Bro.
Oh, good. I was say, man, we're gonna have Big Doc in a few years. We gonna have to call you doctor or something.
I mean, I might.
Hey. Your father already did it, so
he did it twice.
Twice is insane. Because first one of them is crazy, but getting two.
Bro, two.
And then you say pure mathematics? That's hard to do. Y'all know me and my story with math is terrible. I cannot stand math. Me and math don't get along. His father got not one, but 2 PhDs, and one of them is pure mathematics. So
yeah, no, that man is mentally insane. But
well, I mean, apple don't fall far from the tree, as the folks say. But hey, I meant like that, y'all. You know, Festin's a great guy. You know, he ain't that crazy.
He meant that.
No, I did not. I did not. You better stop mocking me like that. You don't mock me like that.
So, but like, I want to get into like community organizing. You know, I'm trying to low-key lead a revolution out here, but not like crazy revolution. More like we can find alternative means and methods to like help one another.
So you're gonna be like, "Do you want a revolution?" Woo woo. You gonna be like, "That's something," you know? Go woo.
And you know, hopefully, if I can go further down my career, you know, I want to go back to my country, perhaps run for politics over there, you know, or if not run for politics, just like set up some like activism work over there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're planning on going back to Kenya and being a citizen of Kenya, or you want to stay here in the United States and build your career up here?
I'm gonna build my career up here first. I need money, bro. I can't just go back. Bro, the exchange rate is crazy, bro. I'm gonna go there, bro. I'm gonna be broker than a mug, bro.
Well, I wouldn't say that broke.
Bro, what you mean? Nah.
No. I mean, like
American money. The thing is, it translates well over there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like, do you remember? You probably was young. Do you know how much $100 is in Kenyan money?
$100. I'm pretty sure $100 is 10,000 Kenyan shillings. I may be
10,000.
That's last time I checked. Yeah.
So what the hell is like $1 million?
Oh, bro, you a billionaire right there, bro.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'm telling you, like my mom told me once she retires, I just gotta send her like $200 a month or $500 a month. She'll be living comfortably. They're living like she's rich.
That's insane how like inflated the U.S. prices are and how much we spend, how much that American dollar means, you know. That's thanks to like the people that helped build this country, Black Americans. You know, I don't want to get that political because y'all seen Bruce interview, y'all know how my feelings on it already. But shout out to Bruce, by the way, if you're watching this, cousin. Shout out to you.
You know it's true though.
Yeah, but you know it's true. Don't like this famous quote said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Because the game made it like that. Okay, so you can't get mad at me because that is the truth that we are living in. And I know that this time right now is very, very scary for international students. You know, we have the election coming up, so I don't want to get too political here, but you know,
get as political as you want. I
mean, we can.
Is it gonna scare them?
No, it's not gonna scare them. The Bruce interview, you should have scared them enough. I got emails about that one. So like with the current political spirit, because I know that I'm not an international student, I'm not international at all. So like the last 2 presidents, just to be an example, were you like afraid that you were gonna leave the life that you had in America these last 8 years?
Oh yeah, most definitely. No, especially with Trump, because like with Trump came like many changes in international law, like when it comes to immigration. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Trump was like barring countries from like, coming to America. You remember like he was doing all those travel bans?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And look, I'm asking this question because I want y'all to see it from a person that lived it. Okay, because this is what they live. We don't have their shoes in the political sphere or even in the country. Okay, there's certain things that they can't do. There's certain things that they have to watch themselves. There's certain things that they have to guard themselves. Certain things that they have to act because they have a risk of losing everything that they built. So you have to keep that in mind. And I'm talking to you, college students, when you're talking to these people and assuming that they hate you. Okay, let me tell you something. And this is from our meeting on Monday. We learned that us Black Americans, we assume that people from Africa hate us because of what the mainstream media tells us. The mainstream media tell us that all Africans are poor. This is not true. The mainstream media tells you that Africans hate all of you This is not true. I can tell you from personal experience, I have about 4 African friends that are international students. They're from the motherland, and we're perfectly fine. I treat them just like my regular Black American friends. And I have white friends, of course, because of my major and what I'm studying. So I have white friends as well. I have friends of all races and all cultures. They teach me things about stuff that I had no idea about, and I teach them American culture still to this day because they don't have things to relate to. So when you see a person that is international, don't always assume that they're bad because you have to judge them on character. And that's the problem with where we go at, you know. And I won't touch it there and there. This is why you might when college students, when you go on college campuses, this is why they don't talk to you because they already have that pre-notion that you don't like them just because of where they're from, just because how they speak. And that is a major, major problem. You cannot let social media tell you things. Like, for example, social media told me, and I've done my research before I interview all my candidates. Social media told me that sociology is one of the most useless college majors ever.
Bro, don't get me started.
Social media told me that a sociology major is the people that are insane.
I'm kind of insane though.
Okay, but don't buy into it. I'm making a point here. See,
are you right?
I'm gonna leave. See, I'm trying to make it a point. But look what the jobs that Mr. Festin said that sociology majors are. So when you walk into work on Monday, if you're watching this on the weekend, or you walk into work tomorrow, you're watching this on the weekday. Think about it. If you have a project manager, your social media says that sociology majors can't be project managers. But he just told me they can be your project managers.
We also like analyze trends and whatnot, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we study it, you know, we learn how to research these trends and all that, you know.
They can be your project managers. They can be your managers themselves. They can be your boss.
That's true.
When you walk into work tomorrow. So think about that when you talk down on sociology. Because I never understood why people talk down on psychology and sociology. These are the people that we need for the human race, for human beings. We need people like this. You know, yes, we do need nurses and doctors and lawyers, of course. Okay. That a society, a civilized society will not work without those people. We need people in STEM. Of course, how else are we going to have new cars? How else are we going to develop medicine when things get sick? How else are we going to be able to cure diseases? How else are we going to be able to build the next innovation of technology to keep us from falling behind the rest of the world? We need STEM majors. We need all of that. But sociology and psychology are very, 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 very important because those are the people that be your counselors. Those are your mental health advocates. Those are the people that keep you sane when you're going through it. So saying that you don't need these things is ridiculous. I never understood why people want to get rid of your major because I heard so many bad things about your major.
But so here's my thing, right? My major is one of those few majors that kind of teach us as humans that we have agency in our lives. Like compared to psychology where everything's about like behaviors, it's like you react to this, you know, these are things that work unconsciously. We can consciously change things in our lives. And one thing is sociology, which is like many of my professors preach, you can do whatever you want, man. Like you have the ability to do whatever you want. There's certain powers that keep you from doing what you want. But at the end of the day, as a human, you are this like complex being that can achieve, you know what I mean? And you have like governors like Jeff Landry, you know what I'm saying, or current Louisiana governor who wants to defund these programs because according to him and the people who support him, you know, like these are just like some liberal like majors, you know, like they're not going to do anything. However, my theory is I feel like they want to defund these programs because you don't want to tell people that they have too much agency that they can do whatever they want. So like when they realize they can do whatever they want, they're not going to take crap from people who sit on them or abuse them. You know what I mean? Right. Government, you know what I mean? It's like, so And the funny thing about sociology, it's actually inherently conservative of a major. Like if you look at like when you go deep into it, like right now I'm in social theory, like I'm learning a lot of it, like the basis of sociology is actually conservative. But not many people realize that because we were fed through media. Media is like what feeds us the notion of why sociology is a useless major. Media is the same thing that feeds us that African Americans don't like Africans or Africans don't like African Americans. The same media is why we don't talk to other ethnic groups other than our own, bro.
Exactly.
Media is dangerous. It's a powerful tool, but also
very, very dangerous. And these people at these companies, which is why I really, really advocate for STEM, and which is why I really very, very advocate for CS and computer science and technology, because the people that are running these media companies are not of color of us. They don't look like us. They don't know us. They don't know our background. So they're feeding things that they assume is true. And the problem with people these days, a lot of y'all don't read. A lot of y'all can't write. A lot of y'all follow the trends. A lot of y'all just go with the flow. And this is why you believe these things that people tell you. And this is the problem that we are having as a society. Because I would never, and so I use social media. Obviously, it's part of my job. Okay. I do this podcast, I do YouTube. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have 2 podcasts. I have social media consulting, helping people build their businesses and improve their businesses through media marketing and management. I do that. Yes. It's a powerful tool to make you a lot of money. I know people that sit in their bed all day and make over $1,000 a day just from sitting in their bed. And no, they're not doing OnlyFans. They're literally literally verified on Twitter. They're verified through Instagram, and they're verified through Facebook, and they make $1,000 a day.
Cool.
I know people like this. I helped train them, because that's what we do here. That's what CTP does. We're a media company as well as a YouTube company. Okay, so yes, I do know these people. So that's the power of social media, where you can literally sit in your bed and make that much money a day, and you're not selling any part of your body. People always say, "Oh, he's selling that. Oh, she doing OnlyFans. She got it just for fame." No, not the people I know. I don't consult people that have OnlyFans.
So you telling me they don't got no OnlyFans?
No, sir. They make $1,000 a day just from looking at Twitter, looking at Instagram, Facebook, and what else I said? Twitter. Yeah, they make tweets, they make captions, they just keep posting all day, and they make $1,000 a day. That is possible, but you got to have discipline. You got to have patience for that. That's the great part about social media. The other negative is they feed y'all these things to keep y'all distracted. Because there's no reason why we should still have the divide in 2024 between Africans and African Americans, who's black and who's not. Why are we having these questions? You've experienced it your last 23 years living here on Earth.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hate to tell his age, but yeah, he's 23 years old.
You told my age, bro.
Well, they probably was gonna ask.
Oh, that's true.
They're gonna be like, how old he is, because that's what they do.
But it's crazy because like so many times I've been questioned about like whether I'm black or not. Like you don't count as being black. You're African. You know what I'm saying? But then like I go with my Africans because I've grown up here for a bit. They question whether I'm African or not. I'm like, bruh.
They say you're not connected to the continent. So just because I'm not connected to the continent, I can't claim my African side.
That's so stupid, honestly.
It's very stupid. But you gotta think that's what the media and their parents and stuff fed them. So they come over here with that assumption. I can't say I'm African American. It's not supposed to say I'm Black American. Apparently, I learned last year there's 2 different terms. When you're Black Americans, people that are born in America, don't have no ties to Africa. African American is people that family are from Africa. This is what they say. This is what according to what people say now. African Americans, people, their family is from Africa,
so now they changed it,
and they move over to the United States, and then their kids are born here, so they're technically African American.
Bro, I feel like the only reason they're switching to that now, I may be wrong, but like, you ever realize we never call white people European Americans? We just call them white, as if like they're the basis of America, white Americans, but we are African Americans. You ever thought about that?
I never understood when I fill out a job application, it says Black or African American.
Yeah.
You realize it always says that.
Black or African American, but there's never like white American. No, European American, so it's white American. It's kind of like
well, because look what's taught in schools, Festin. You gotta think about it, okay? Look how they taught us how white America was found. They said that we completely cut ties off with Britain. So that's why they just say you're white.
Okay, but what I learned in my class, I took race and ethnic relations, right? The only reason white supremacy exists, and
I took a race communications class too last year.
Like the concept of white, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hold on,
y'all, pay attention, young folks. You're gonna learn something that you can take with you. For all my young people that are watching this podcast, so when you go to school next week or whenever you see this podcast, take what we say and do your own research from it. But again, with the right people, don't feed into what the algorithm gonna feed you. Do your research and come to your own conclusions. We're not trying to change our minds, okay? That's not what we're here for. This is an interview. I'm interviewing you on his personal experience, how he came up and what he's doing, okay? We're not changing your minds. You come to your own conclusions for everything that you believe in. That's always said. CTP does not support any candidate. We're not putting bias on anybody or none of that. You have your own conclusion. You have your own opinions. But continue on.
So yeah, like there was I'm not sure if you remember Bacon's Rebellion in history. So
I do not. Teach me.
So like the Africans, the enslaved Africans, and the white settlers.
Yeah.
They kind of started forming like community together. You know what I mean? Like they were out here like intermarrying with each other and whatnot. And they decided to come together to fight against the Native Americans. Now, it's messed up they were fighting against the Native Americans, but you see this whole notion of a community with black and white, like the race did not matter. Now, this was a problem for the rich, like white planter class, like the people who owned like the land, the rich guys, the elites. So they were like, oh snap, we can't have the Negroes and the white people getting along. So we gotta create this notion of white privilege, white supremacy. You know, we gotta keep on pushing it, because if we push it, the poor white people, they'll think they have like some form of power in this society, and they'll be less likely to integrate with like black people and keep them low, because black people were their property at the end of the day. And they saw it as, if they get together, they're gonna realize the rich people are the problem, and they're gonna get to them like how they got to the Native Americans. Now, the thing is, why we create this concept of white? Because like you need to make white because it looks pure, whatever. When you have this concept of white, you remove like all this interesting European ethnicities like Italian, English, French, German. Like, let's look at the average white American. Even if they say I'm Italian, can they speak Italian? Can they do anything? Like the difference with black compared to white, at least with black culture, like it mixed all the African tribes that came in through the transatlantic slave trade. They made something beautiful from, like, even though they were deprived many times from speaking their language, from like forming community together, they still found a way to make like a mix, a beautiful like cultural mix, compared to white, which is just in resistance to like slaves and like other white people uprising.
Okay. So I never knew that. Well, I watch this channel, shout outs to them, called the African Diaspora News Channel. This is where I get all my news. I watch all his channels, the Philip Scott podcast. I watch Emancipation Media, everything that this guy does. I've been watching him since 2016. This is how I got the concept of white supremacy. Now, to all my folks that are watching this, because I do have white folks that watch this, white supremacy still does exist. I hate to say that, but it's true. But it's in different forms than what you think. No, they're not denying us access to universities that we qualify for, because they can't. No, they're not denying us access to their restaurants. They're not denying us access to their cities, even though I recommend you, if you're African, if you're Black or anything else, stay away from sundown towns. Don't do that. That's my personal preference. I would not go to those towns because you don't know who you're gonna meet. But you can still go there if you want to. No, they're not denying us access to their states. You can live in the United States if you have the power and the money. You can live wherever the hell you want to live, as long as you're a citizen. They don't care. You can move to Florida if you want to. Who's going to stop you, right? No, they're not doing that anymore. But they have translated white supremacy into our income, money, jobs, economic opportunity. Mm-hmm. They've transported in crime, prison. Mm. Who goes to prison the most out of everybody in the United States? And they claim that white folks are the most people in this country outside of Asians, I believe. I think Asians, and then I think the Asians is second, and then I think we're like third or fourth. But how come Black men are the most people that are in jail right now, when we're only supposedly 47 million people here, and that's counting all of us? That's not just counting the Black men. But we're the most in prison.
You make 80% of it, man.
We make up 80% of the prisons. That's the way they're protecting white supremacy. Because again, the prison is not amended from the 13th Amendment. Keep that in mind. The 13th Amendment does not apply to prison. So technically, since you go to jail and you committed that crime, or sometimes they lie on you, you say you don't commit the crime, but they lock you away anyway. That happens a lot. You are not constitutionalized to the 13th Amendment, which means they can do whatever the hell they want to do to you. They can. Keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. So I'm saying this to say, when people say white supremacy still exists, look at it in a different lens. No, we're not in chains. We can do a lot of things that they allow us to do. Keep that in mind too. But it exists in different things. Why do you think that Black America, when things happen in America or crisis happen, we don't have money? Because that is a systematic thing. And it's not the job. No, it's not the jobs. I'll tell you that. Black women are the most qualified job candidates in America. They hold the most bachelor's, master's, and PhDs out of any ethnic group in the entire United States. Black women are the most educated group of women in the entire United States. They're even in the top 10 educated group of women in the entire world. They have more degrees than any white man or woman in the entire United States. That's true. But you want to know their economic opportunity? It's the same as Black men. But they're the most educated. It's a system. That's what we mean, system of white supremacy. And I'm doing some teaching for y'all because this is sociology, man, so I can finally talk about these things that I talk to my political friends with. I'm doing some teaching, okay? In the jobs. Why do Black Americans and Africans have to work? Why we say we have to work 10 times as hard as everybody else? Prime example, in tech. In order for me to get my internship in the summer, this is a true story. The guy said they loved my resume, but I was still missing some things. Johnny, I'm making this up. This is actually not his name. Johnny said that, hey man, you're more qualified than me. I want to learn some things from you. How did you do this? How did you do that? Johnny got the internship before I did.
I was squared up with him.
Johnny only had to do one interview. I had to do 4. Johnny got paid $2 more than I did. And Johnny was least qualified than me. That's what we mean by white supremacy in jobs. In order for me to even get the interview, to get the internship like Johnny did, they wanted me to get another certification, although I had 3 on my resume, which were proven. They wanted me to get more experience, although I had multiple experiences, including competing against Tulane, which is one of the best universities in our state, and we beat them twice. They still said it was not enough for that internship. That's what we mean about fighting when working 10 times as hard as everyone else to get jobs. That's why Black women get the most degrees in the United States of America. They have to be overqualified to get the same position that Samantha gets. And it's even worse for Africans. One of my African friends didn't even get the internship. And my boss for the internship revealed to me that he had 4 spots open. And he was not, and he said that everybody was not qualified to fill them. So he never filled them for the rest of the summer. But the same guy that had as much as credits as I did and a stronger degree than me, according to Google, the stronger degree because it is a computer science and not IT, even though IT is debatably probably stronger than computer science, but I'm not getting to that debate. And I'm not doing that right now. He didn't get the internship at all. He had to find somewhere else to work. But someone else took him, and he did fine for the summer. But that's a prime example of what I mean, how white supremacy still operates. And in economics, I'll tell you something about. This is something my economics teacher told me. And he said this. He said, Cole, you're a brilliant student. But I know when you buy your first house, it's going to take more than just hitting the ceiling.
It's true.
He told me straight up, you're going to have to overqualify for your credit. You're going to have to work 10 times as hard as Samantha or Brennan to get your house. This is a white man saying this to me. Closest guy I ever met. He taught me so much about economics. And I did my research as to why Black American businesses struggle. Why Black Americans don't have enough money. It's systematic. And until we change the system, white supremacy will never go away. I know y'all always say, pull stuff out your bootstraps. It's not 1965 no more. Y'all always say that we always complain. Y'all always complain. Y'all got it good here in America. And yes, we do. Look, prime example, look how Festin said how much Kenyan money means to America. How much it takes to become a millionaire in Kenya. How much money it takes just to get $100 in Kenya. That's tough. The American dollar is priceless. Yes, we agree with that. Absolutely. But like I said, it's systematic. And that's just 2 examples of how it's systematic. With jobs and houses.
And with mortgage, bro, like there's like an algorithm that like it will look at white looking names and Black names, and like people like whiter names are more likely to receive like housing loans compared to people what we typically consider Black names.
Yeah.
We were reading that from my class last week.
So this is what sociology majors study, okay? Why did this Black woman I seen on TikTok last week have to put a white name in just to get an interview? Why do we have to do that? But you telling me that racism still don't exist. You're telling me this. You're telling me that my group is keep complaining about it. Yeah, I'm going to keep complaining about it. But I know what I have to do to get in these positions that you say. And keep in mind, white Americans are telling me this. My closest professors are telling me this. This is real life. They're setting me up because they know. They know what I'm going to be facing. Just prime example in my major, how I had to work just to get one internship. Now imagine if I'm trying to go for a full-time job, how qualified I have to be. And y'all always say, "Oh, you're doing too much."
You got to do.
You don't have to do all that. You don't have to present yourself like that. This is what the Black community says about us.
Who tells you that, bro?
Oh, you're nerdy. You're too nerdy. You're too knowledgeable. What the hell does that mean? So I'm called a nerd because I know how to spell. I'm called a nerd because I know how to write.
Bro, you know what this reminds me of, man? This reminds me of like the institutional racism is so deep. You know why like a lot of Black people in urban areas, why they live in like the hood and all that, bro? They hyper segregated us, even with like the Fair Housing Act of like it's in 1968.
The Fair Housing Act of 1968. And I know my history, by the way, folks.
It did nothing, bro. Like whenever you push all these African Americans within this corner of the city where like infrastructure is terrible, advantages to like good jobs is like low, you know, your life chances are low. You start developing this like pervasive like ideas about like that are negative to the community, such as having children unwed, you know what I mean? Having what's it called? Cultures where like school is looked at like, oh, look at you, why are you trying to be smart, whatever, and like let's say ebonics becoming prevalent because like
they do that on purpose.
They do that on purpose.
They do that on purpose, guys. Let me tell you something. I had a great debate with someone that I met through mutual things that we were doing, and he said that everyone from the hood's not terrible. Everyone from the hood's not dumb, and I agree with them. They promote that through the media and social media to say if you're from the hood, you're stupid. It's not true. The reason why people from the hood don't get out, the smart people don't get out, is because they say that why you keep studying those math problems? Why you keep writing that paper? You're doing too much. We tear down each other for trying to make a better life for ourselves. And that's a major problem. You cannot do that. How do you want you and then these are parents saying this stuff. How are you going to tell your child to not keep studying, but to go pick up a basketball? When 1 in 5 kids will even be considered for the NBA draft. But you never know if that young man keeps studying, he might go to Mars. If that young man keeps studying, he might be the next aerospace engineer or next doctor.
Cure to cancer, man.
You sometimes y'all don't know what y'all got in y'all household. And we're speaking to the Black community here, okay? And maybe this goes along on white America, I don't know. Because there's some white people that believe that speak like that too, that are in those poor areas. Why are you doing that? You should be go pick up that football.
Yeah, open the Appalachians, bro. Mississippi,
those
areas.
Mississippi, they speak like this. This is not just a Black American. This is an American thing. American people speak like this.
I feel like it's a class thing too.
It does. Let me tell you something. Person, I believe it. When people think that they're poor, they believe that they can never have money.
That's true.
This is the belief that the system puts on people. Not just Black Americans. I know smart Americans about it. They believe that they'll never have capital.
And it's going to stop them from getting capital.
Because if you believe that you won't be successful, this is life quote. You will not be successful. You have to think of it right now. I'm gonna be something. If you don't have that drive and motivation to say, I'm gonna change my economic status, it will never happen. Because your mind won't tell you. This is a psychology and sociology thing. I never took a psychology and sociology class. I'm coming from a STEM mind, from a STEM mindset and a STEM brain. If you don't have the drive, it won't happen. Period. I don't care if you say you're gonna get your driver's license. If you think you're gonna fail that test, it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna fail because you're creating doubt. And that's what the system of white supremacy wants to do. Create doubt in our head that we can't do it. And they want to make sure that we don't do it.
Because, bro, we have a superpower as Black people who have been oppressed by the system. Because now we have this ability of double consciousness, bro. We know how it is to be a Black person in this American society. When we also know how white people perceive us, and we also know how to navigate through these white spaces, because we have to work in white spaces and Black spaces. But white people never have to work in Black spaces most of the time.
They don't, because their bosses keep them away from those spaces intentionally. Now, some of them absolutely try to.
Yeah.
And I respect those folks that do, because I know a few of them that do. Now, I'm not saying all of y'all like this, but some of them don't. We have to do that. When we say the thing about code switching, y'all get confused with what the hell we talking about. If you work in any corporate America, you know what I'm talking about as a Black person. Absolutely. If we go to a PWI, you know what I'm talking about. You have to. There's no way you have to play the system by the game to be successful. And the problem is, a lot of us keep thinking that we still going we oppressed. That we're always going to be oppressed. And y'all got to get out that mindset.
We can get ourselves easily from pressure, man.
Easily.
Like, bro, we are one of the most innovative people, like, in history of mankind. Like, the amount of, like, inventions that have been developed by Black scientists, Black inventors, you know what I mean? The amount of science has been pushed by Black women. It's like, if we were actually, like, if we can get ourselves from that, I want to say, I don't want to call it slave mentality per se, but
it is. I'm being honest. And you know I'm honest all the time.
Because we got the same thing too in Africa. I call it a colonized mind, bro.
It's a colonizer mind in Africa, and we have that slave mentality for America. That will never be nothing.
It's like, we'll never see anything.
We'll never see anything. It's always the people just gonna take it away. How you know they're gonna take it away? How you know that they won't use you for something or pay you to do something?
You can't see the future, bro. That's the one thing I try to tell people. Like, just keep on striving for the best, bro. Yeah, there's some things that are said against you, but you can always do better than the things that are said against you. You know what I mean? And
you don't have to listen to what everybody says.
Exactly.
I don't care if your mammy say you're not gonna graduate college. The only person that prevents you from graduating college is yourself. Mm-hmm. If Samantha says it, who gives a crap? What's Samantha gonna do? Samantha not taking your test. Samantha not doing the books. Samantha not going to class. She not paying for your school. If she ain't doing that, she can't stop you from graduating.
And y'all, look, if y'all have any like problems going on at home or whatever, just to go to the resources that your campus like offers you.
Yes. Go get help. Go talk to someone. They're there for a reason. Let me tell you something. And I want us to get out this thing that not everybody's against you. Mm-hmm. That is not the truth. You have to find a circle that wants to be successful. And that's hard to do. Sometimes you have to go against the grain depending on where you at. If these folks want to stay where they at and don't want to be nothing, I can't be around you. You got to change your circle. I had to change my circle in high school. The same people I hung out in high school, half of them I haven't seen since. Want to know why? Because they're stuck in that drama, that mess, and they don't want to do nothing with their lives.
And I feel like that's the hardest thing for people to do, like especially like when they come in as freshmen, you have your freshman crew of friends.
Yeah.
Even if they get toxic, you still want to stay by your friends and whatnot. Knowing darn well you could be doing something better. You could have friends who actually give you a healthy relationship, friends who encourage you to be your best, friends who encourage you to actually study with them, you know what I mean? Instead of friends who like, oh, let's go drinking every weekend, do this and that. Then like drama happens, blah, blah, blah. The cycle repeats, you know what I mean?
You learn that as you age. And the problem is, and because people are still debating, is college worth it? Yes, it is. College is worth it. Don't believe what the internet says about college, especially if you're a Black American. College is absolutely worth it. Look at the prime example I just had. I almost have a college degree, and I struggled just to get an internship. Because, like I said, that guy was least qualified than me, but he got a position over me. And he got paid more than me. He told me, he was like, yeah. He's like, man, I can't believe that they paid me more money. They gave me more money than they offered you. I was like, what? But my resume is stronger.
Man, you should have recorded that guy, bro.
No, I wasn't gonna do that.
Report the dude.
Now I know how the system works, Festin. That was my gateway to what that dude told me in that stream in April, because he live streamed that, and he told me the ways that white supremacy works now, and I believed him, but I didn't think it was just gonna be from an internship they do it. I thought that was just jobs, but I had my wake up call in June. 2 months later, that same thing he talked about happened to me. That's real stuff.
That's real.
Real stuff. And that theory that you talked about happens every day. That stuff you studied in class, that's real. Real life.
I mean, hell. I wrote you know about my plagiarism story, right? So I got accused of plagiarism.
Well, tell them. I have one too.
So
and I have another one too.
So I was accused of plagiarism back I want to say my second semester in this university. Mind you, I didn't plagiarize at all. I spent all night working on this essay. I put all this evidence. I cited. I did everything. But no, so the Turnitin software, it claimed that I took something from WordPress. But I didn't even know what WordPress was. I didn't even know that was a website. So my professor, without even giving me a chance a day to explain myself, he was like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna have to agree with the machine. Gonna follow protocol. I don't wish you no harm, but I have to fail you." And I was like, "Bro, what?" He's like, "If you don't agree with me, take it up to the chair to appeal." So I was like, "Okay, I'm about to take it up to the chair to appeal." So I go to the chair of the school. I'm gonna say his name, Chair Hansen. Is that his name? I think that's his name. Nor do I care. But
I know. I only know if he still works here.
You're right.
It might be gone.
I sent that man my whole thing. I sent the email thread. I sent him my essay, and I was like, "Bro, check this out, because I'm trying to appeal this." You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to agree with your teacher here. This looks like a case of plagiarism. Even so, if you don't agree with me, you've got to take it to the dean." And I was like, "Dude, I'm out here fighting for my life. Look, I even sent him my previous essays. I've made good grades on essays. I know how to write. Do you find it hard that a black international can write, bro? Can spend not even that long to write a 9-page essay? It took me maybe 3 hours to 4 hours. I mean, I didn't sleep." And so I took it to the dean. The dean didn't even respond to me. I double emailed the dean. The dean still didn't respond.
You had to go to his office, didn't you?
I went to the office. They're like, "Oh, you have to email the dean." So I was sent back. So, man, that took away my academic confidence. I felt like I didn't have it in me, I was like, well, maybe perhaps I'm not. Maybe I did plagiarize somehow, even though I didn't. Now, I'm making this false narrative in my head. I'm like, man, maybe I copied off or something. But I didn't copy.
So what happened? Did they take it off?
No, I had to retake the class for the summer. And guess what? When I retook the class, I had an A in it. That's why. It's it's kind of like what I was saying.
Well, at least they didn't report you.
They didn't report me.
That would have been on your permanent academic record, and then every school that you do for graduate school would have seen that.
Yeah, no.
That would have been a disaster. So I had a similar story, but it wasn't that. This was for one of my final English classes, and we were on the last essay before we had to do the research paper, which is about 10 pages long. But that was due at the end of the semester because it was an honors English class. So we write the things, and normally sometimes I like to write my papers in class, during class, because that's most of the time I'd be doing class work in English because they just be talking about nonsense half the time. And I didn't read them books. So the books that we talked about in the honors class, I didn't read them because I didn't have time and I wasn't buying them. So while she was talking and doing her rambling little lectures, I was typing out the essay that we had due. It was essay 4 for the class, the final essay, and it was worth 100 points, like always. And this was the last one before we have the research paper and final exam. Because the final exam was a presentation and research paper combined. That was the final exam for the class. And we presented our final exam was the presentation. So I already knew what I was doing the research paper on. I had 7 pages of it done already, of the 10 that we had to write 10 pages. And I was just wrapping up the last essay because I had a very, very hard December coming up, so I wanted to get it done in November before it was due. Get there, write the essay. I got 3 pages of it done in class, walked out of class, and went on by my day. Nothing happened. Okay. I turned in the essay. Normally, the teacher gives our essays back within 72 hours. She was a fast grader for those essays. She pretty much had them due on the Friday. We had grades back by Wednesday the next week. So I'm looking for my grade. Everybody says grades are in for the essay. So I look and it says a 0 out of 100. My grade drops to like I had a 90 something in the class, dropped to like a 71. 71, 70%. She said that we need to talk about this because we might have to report you to the provost because of my essay. I was like, what are you talking about? So she said that you plagiarized your essay and copied off another student's work. Your work is similar to another woman in the class. Turns out the girl behind me, we had the same essay, which is virtually impossible though, because I wrote my own essay. So I met with her in her office and I said that I have made 90s on all the essays the entire semester. I've turned everything in, never missed a class. So what do you mean that I plagiarized? And I always ask you to read my essays before I turn them in, and you said this one was fine. She was like, well, the turn-in software said that you used another student's work. Well, I said that's virtually impossible because I don't know these people like that. I didn't really talk to those people. They were like egomaniac honors kids that were just there for the credit just to get sophomore honors distinction. That's all they was worried about. So I didn't really make any friends in the class. I had like maybe 2 friends in the class out of everybody, and I befriended one of them, and we took another honors class together the following year. So before I got sophomore honors. So yeah, I didn't really have that many friends in the class itself. So I was like, what are you talking about? So she said that, yeah, I'm going to need to talk to the student that you plagiarized with. I'm going to need you to talk together because I think that y'all work together and you can't do that here in the honors department for our essays because we're held to a high standard. And if I find that you did work together, she was going to recommend me for a academic report and removal of the honors program. So I said, okay, you can do that.
She's blaming you without even looking at the situation deeply, man.
Yeah, so I said, okay, let's do that. Let's meet with the student. I don't know this chick. So we met in the office and we looked at both essays, and I said, and I pulled up my essay from the third essay. And I said, hey, teach. I almost said name. I want you to look at my essay 3 and my language and writing, and look at my essay 4. And look at the essay 4 writing of her. Why does that sound like me? Then look at her essay 3. So we pulled up all the essays, we put them side by side or whatever. And she was like, oh man, you're right. This is sounding like your essay. For on hers and yours. And I was like, you don't say, huh? Well, of course, because I wrote it. So she looked at her essay 3, took about 3 days. Well, it's about 72 hours, more than 72 hours of my life. Looked at her essay 3 and realized it sounded completely different from her essay 4, and it was out of character. The girl made mistakes. The girl did not indent. The girl did not space like I did not write in Times New Roman. She wrote in Arial. All her papers were in Arial, but this one was in Times New Roman for the first time ever. And the teacher said it didn't matter what we wrote in. She never said that we had to write in Times New Roman. I wrote in Times New Roman because that was the standard I was used to.
Oh, your teacher was nice. My teacher made us write it.
Yeah, my teacher did not let do that. So it come to find out, the girl said, okay, I cheated off of him. I sat behind him, took pictures of his computer, which she sent it to a friend.
Wait, let me ask this question. Was the girl white, black? What was she?
White girl. Yeah.
Okay.
She sent it to her friend, who was in the class, by the way. And the friend had a very great relationship with me. I think she had a crush on me at the time, but I was dating. And she sent me the screenshots. Because I was like, man, I'm going through this stuff. I Facebook messaged her. I said, "Hey, do you know what's going on with this girl? Because I think that she cheated off of me." She's like, "Yeah, I know her. We've been friends since freshman year." And I said, "Oh my, really?" So I said, "Did she talk to you about cheating on this essay?" And she was like, "Well, you know how they is." She was halfway. They run their mouth. So she bragged about her. She bragged about how easy essay 4 was and how she did it in like one day when it took normally the class a week to write the essay. And I was like, "Oh, really?" These are honors kids, by the way.
To me.
So she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I finished my essay 4, but I do my research project and have it done before final exam, so I'll be done with this class. And y'all just gonna still be working." You know, she had ego.
She's still here.
Yeah, she's still here. I'd seen her last week. So she naively, I don't know if she was drunk or something, but I don't know what was going on. She sent the pictures of my essay and me writing my essay with the full words that she copied and pasted.
God bless you right there.
Into the essay. She gave me the screenshots. So I said that not only did she cheat off of me, I have proof that she did. I sent those pictures to the teacher. And that was enough for her to say that I can rewrite my essay and make sure that I don't write it in class.
Wait, why do you got to rewrite your essay? Why can't she rewrite her essay? Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me get to it. She said for blatantly cheating, the girl was kicked out of the honors program and failed the class.
Okay.
She said, "I'm going to give you an F. No matter what you do for the rest of the semester, you will not get that F up and you will be kicked out of the honors program. I will make sure of that."
I got kicked out the honors program for myself too.
Oh, for your stuff?
Yeah.
They did not play about that. So she got kicked out. She made an F in the class. And she had to retake that class, the regular version of the class. And they said that we will have in your file that you plagiarized against me for the rest of your time here. We're going to also let the provost know to put it on your academic record for that semester. So when you apply to grad schools, they'll know that you're a cheater. If you ever want to go to med school, they definitely gonna know because they're gonna ask us. They'll know that you're a cheater. So basically, her college career is pretty much ruined after the bachelor's degree. She even wants to go get more. I had to show that I was capable. So the teacher gave me a shortenized version of the essay and said I only have to write 2 pages for my essay 4.
I still don't understand why you got to show
within 48 hours.
I still don't understand. Like you did your stuff with that.
Because for accreditation records and for the honors department, for us being honors, I have to have 4 unique essays for the class. That was in the syllabus. So that's what I did. I rewrote the second idea I had. I already had most of it filled out. I just didn't like it. I just tweaked it, turned it in, made 90 anyway. Made 90 in that. Made like an 87 on the final exam. Passed the class with a B. Got my honors credit. I won at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it goes to show you I had to go through all of that just because someone else cheated off of me.
I love how you were questioned first.
I was questioned first because I turned in my stuff first.
Okay, I'm about to say.
She turned in the essay late, thinking that she wasn't going to get caught. And how the teacher grades it is she goes by whoever turns it in first. That's how she grades her essays. And she she looks at the turning in software to gauge if you cheat or not.
So let me ask you this: how do you feel about them honor kids?
I say that they're egomaniacs. They, people say there's like 3 different types of nerds. They're like the jerky nerds. I forgot what I was talking to somebody else about. We gave them 3 categories, and some honors kids are great. They're very cool, fun people. Some of them are they're very egomaniacs, and they just feel like you're not supposed to be in their presence. That's how I feel about it.
Some honors kids I've met, I'm not gonna say any names. They are sticklers about, like, let's say, grammar or whatever. And it's always good to have good grammar. Don't get me wrong, but like sometimes you just want to loosen up a little bit. You know what I mean? But like
So they got a code switch.
Yeah, but they don't know how to like. They're so stiff. You know what I'm trying to say, bro?
Well, yeah, because they come from being the smartest people in their high school, and now they're competing with 550 other people for being the smartest people in college. You have to think about that. These are people that were 1 and 2, 3, 4, top 10 in their class, and they're coming here on full scholarships.
I forget that, man. My honor scholarship didn't cover my thing.
Keep in mind, our university has a 99% acceptance rate. The 1% that get rejected are graduate school applications and people that are just genuinely not ready for college. If you coming for undergrad, you are 99%. You have a 99% chance of getting accepted.
What's our graduation rate?
Graduation rate is 36%.
That's actually insane.
1 in 5 people will drop out in the next 4 years at this school.
Yeah, I've had a couple of friends drop out already.
Mathematically, you will drop out. 1 in 7 people will graduate in 6 years or longer here. I've done the math already. If you have when you come for 4-year degree, you graduate in 4 years, you have a 25% chance of graduating in 4 years here. In 5 years, you have a 40% chance. In 6 years of above, an 80% chance.
So what do you think increases those chances of like graduating longer than you're supposed to? Do you think it's advising? Do you think it's just students and their own priorities? Or what?
It's a mix of everything. Advising, resources, and priorities. The reason why people stay here 6 years or longer is because sometimes they get told to take the wrong things. Keep in mind, I worked as a mentor for the honors department, and I'm currently a mentor for my major. So these are stories that I've heard. Reason why we have people graduate, 80% of people graduate 6 years or longer, because of course it's not being offered every semester that they need to graduate. Advising going wrong and them failing prerequisites. Prerequisites in gen eds, or statistically, looking at our university research, 80% of the reason why people don't graduate on time is due to general education classes.
Yeah, I have some which my professor, my advisor, didn't tell me how to take. So
exactly.
So now I gotta stay.
A lot of advisors don't tell you about gen ed classes, and that's the reason why people stay here longer than they're supposed to be. Also, gen ed classes, some of them are ridiculous for some majors that don't even really study math like that, have to take a high level math because of gen ed. You have people that are in different types of majors that have to take extra classes of gen ed. 15 plus hours of gen ed classes, sometimes maybe 21 hours of gen ed. That's half of your degree. And if your advisor is prioritizing your major classes, which is between 57 to 62 hours of your 120-hour degree, obviously, if I'm an advisor, especially the first 2 years is where people make the most mistakes. First 2 years is what determines if you're going to stay here and graduate on time, or you're going to graduate within 5 years or more. Because if you fluff up those first 2 years, you're going to be here longer. Advising wise and priority wise. Failing your prereqs keeps you longer here. Reason why most people I surveyed last semester said the reason why they're graduating in 5 years or more is because they couldn't pass college algebra. They couldn't pass English 101, which is, that's happened.
English 101 is crazy.
They couldn't pass English 102. They couldn't pass Math 241. They couldn't pass, History 202. And those people that are failing that right now.
Biology is a big killer.
General biology, even the 100 level biology, they can't pass that, the basics. They can't pass the scientific ones. They can't pass physics. They can't pass chemistry. They can't even pass communications. And there's people like that too. Can't pass Com 211. They're scared. Don't show up to class. You're going to fail. Simple as that. If you don't go to a comm class, you're failing.
Bro,
simple as that.
211 is like you just talk in that class, bro.
People fail it. Okay, those are the reasons why people fail. No, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's your major. Sometimes you got those hard classes in your major towards the end or in the middle. You realize the major's not for you, and then that keeps you here longer. But 80% of college students change their major 3 times. So if you look at your freshman class right now, for my current college freshman, 1 in 5 of you will have a different major next semester. And about 1/3 of your class will have a different major by your sophomore year. You will lose about half of your class if you go here sophomore year. Class 2028 will probably only have, out of the 2,500 of you that were accepted here and or attending, you're only going to have about 325 of you graduate in 2028, according to the Southeastern graduation rate of 36%. I lost about 70% of my class in the last 3 years.
Wait, hold on. 70% of class of 25 is gone.
30% of us will graduate on time in next semester, in the spring semester. There's about 10% of us that are graduating early in fall. I lost 70% of my class.
My goal originally was to graduate early this fall. Then I saw all the amount of prereqs I didn't do because I was taking classes in the summer and everything. I thought I was doing well, but no, I was taking some of the wrong classes.
But that's why you have to look at.
I had my academic, like, what's it called, map from like
the class, right?
But
you have to look at the individual degree plan as well.
That's true.
You have to pay attention to your catalog.
See, I learned that later, but like at the time, I was on like a high. I was like, bro, I'm gonna hit this back to back classes. I'm gonna get it.
I understand that. Again, the first 2 years, you have that high, you have the ego. You don't think that you don't think that people are telling you wrong.
Exactly.
But I'm here telling you these stats. Oh no, they're telling you wrong. That's why when you're a freshman, you got to catch it now. Catch it now. Print out all the classes that you have to take. Print out when you came and print out your degree plan. Print out every class you got to take and mark when you take them. Put the grade in there. Don't trust the system to keep track of that. Because the system said that I couldn't get in a math class that I took already.
Why so?
Because they said I had the prereq. That's what the system said. But I took that prereq 2 semesters ago. That's why you have to track when you take classes. I know when I took most of my classes, which semester I took it, and who taught it. The reason why is because I don't want them to say I never took it. Because your university could move to a new system that don't have those previous records anymore.
And we be changing systems and everything
so fast. So, as a college student, those are the reasons why people don't graduate on time. And in the African American community, you got to worry about discouragement from your family. You have to worry about discouragement from your friends. Some of your childhood friends said, "Man, I'm working right now. I'm making this and I'm making that in the plant." But that's probably something that you won't want to do. And they're telling you get out there because you eating ramen noodles at night and they at McDonald's. Or they at Raising Cane's or they eating at Logan Steakhouse. They send you pictures of them on dates with their women and they're on vacations telling you that you should drop out of school. And problem with Black community is some people listen to them. When you're in engineering or computer science. Just for an example. Or sociology, you listen to them. I'm saying, "Oh man, my friend's making this much money in the plant. I need to go do what they're doing." So you leave school. And you find out how miserable it is.
And you're doing hard physical labor.
You're not happy. And then you're breaking down your body at the same time. And that's not something you want to do. And that turns into depression. I know about 12 people that happened to in the last 3 years. They listen to their friends and seeing their friends living that social media life. Knowing their friends, no, again, wasn't all of them. Some of their friends were very successful because that's what they like to do. They love to trade. Trades are not for everybody. Okay? Trade is hard human labor. That's why they get paid so much. But you can do that same thing in a career and be more happier, depending on what you want to do. Going for that money in the plant, going for that money in that trade, the money gonna look good, but will you be able to enjoy it? The people that do that, they have a passion for that stuff, and that's something that they literally want to do to run that money up. But you can't go off of social media life. That's why college students drop out too. They drop out seeing the social media life. They drop out seeing how their friends from high school getting married, having kids. They're doing this and they're doing that, and they're wondering why they're studying physics.
And just having a bachelor's degree opens so many windows.
Does.
But no, Instagram lies to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you rather hustle. Why are you in university when you could be hustling for your dream car, your dream house?
The hustling is saying, you know, the people that make those videos are paid by Instagram. Those are the people that I say are the prime examples of the $1,000 a day. They will never tell you that. They're telling you this wrong information so you can leave and not be as successful as them. You got to keep that in mind, folks. Everybody that say college ain't good for you probably never graduated from college or probably never went. They're doing that as a trend to feed the algorithm because they know it's midterms time. Y'all got to listen to me. I do this as a job. This is what I do on the side. Consulting with social media. I study this stuff, okay? The people that tell you that college is not for you, one in three of them did not go to college at all. Some of them don't even have a high school diploma. And they tell you don't go to college. The only reason why is because they're making money off of social media. Their Instagram is paying them. Facebook is paying them to say that. TikTok is paying them to say that.
And another thing,
hundreds of dollars a day.
Bro, so you know like how Mark Zuckerberg didn't graduate from college?
No.
People always like to use that. Like, oh, if Mark Zuckerberg can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm
saying? But Mark Zuckerberg learned how to code and he learned computer science and business while he was there in college, used that information to take off Facebook.
But we never talk about that.
The key word is Mark Zuckerberg was not a business admin major. Mark Zuckerberg was not a lawyer. Mark Zuckerberg was not in med school. He was a computer science major who minored in business at Harvard. And the key word is Mark Zuckerberg didn't drop out until his junior year of college.
Key word, he was in Harvard.
And another key word is he was at freaking Harvard. He was already intelligent. He realized that I can create a company here and I don't need the degree because he realized that Facebook was going to take off. He was smart. You're not Mark Zuckerberg. You're majoring in psychology. Why are you dropping out? You're not going to open up a psych ward when you leave. That's going to take years. And nobody going to take you serious. I was a college dropout. I'm opening up a psych ward for y'all. I'm not going to take you serious.
Bro, I'm sorry. I'm not going. If you, I feel like I'll leave with more problems than I came in with.
No, that people don't listen to this person. They think that Mark Zuckerberg dropped out his freshman year of college. He used Harvard for 3 years before he dropped out. He did not finish because he realized that Facebook was taking off, so he didn't want to spend no money for no tuition. He told this story. He still values college too. He said he wished he finished. He probably would have made more money. He probably would have took off faster if he finished. He said this. He tells Harvard graduates he tells Harvard students he goes speak to Harvard every year how he said he wishes he got his bachelor's degree in computer science. Well, you know why? Because he would have took off faster and made more money quicker if he did. He had to work 10 times as hard because he did not have a degree. Although he had the coding knowledge of a web developer, he didn't have a degree to back it up. So people didn't take him serious at first. He told this story, and y'all don't listen. When y'all tell me Mark Zuckerberg dropped out, but Mark Zuckerberg played the game. He played the game. He don't hate the player. Don't hate him for it. He played the damn game. He studied hard for 3 years. And when he realized that Facebook was taking off, he said, I don't need a degree. That's when he dropped out of school. Same person that made Google. He stayed at where he went? UC, I think, what was it? Berkeley?
I think it was Berkeley.
He went to Berkeley for 4 years. He had 1 semester left. And he realized that Google was taking off. And he never went back and finished. But you know, he always says he wish he finished those 12 hours. Because again, Google would have took it off faster because he would have had a Berkeley degree to back up his company. If these billionaires are telling you that they wish they finished, don't you think that you should finish? No matter if you want to start a company after you finish the degree or not. You can get the degree, it'll make your company life easier because it opens up doors, just like Festin says.
Long, like to put it in short terms, I mean, you're gonna be valid. You know what I'm saying? You'll be college certified.
And nobody can take away your education.
Like, for example, my sister-in-law, she went to school for like animal sciences, right?
Yeah.
Got a degree in it. But guess what kind of job she got afterwards? She got a manager job at Sanderson Farms. Like, and she did nothing like what she had to study for, but they were paying her like starting $90,000 a year.
Wanna know why? She got the college degree.
The college degree, simple as that.
You might study something and get a job that pays more money and something related to your field, making almost 6 figures because they see that you got a bachelor's degree. That's what they care about. And y'all keep saying, "Oh, the economy's so bad. You know, we don't need college no more. The bachelor's degree is the new high school degree." Have you seen my job offers? Do y'all check y'all handshake? Do y'all check y'all email? Are you sure? These companies are begging to email some of y'all, to see some of y'all. They're begging to fill these positions.
Take advantage of college right now, man, because it's gonna get higher and higher. The price. Strike when the iron is hot. You know what I mean?
Yep. If you think it's expensive now, wait till your kids go. The basic bachelor's degree might cost $100,000 a semester. You better be grateful that you're paying these $10,000 a semester, or $4,000 if you commute here at least, or $6,000 if you commute somewhere else, and on average, in whatever your state that you're in. Be grateful you're paying that, because in 20 years, that what I'm paying now gonna be what commuters are paying, and what I'm paying now gonna be triple, because the price of college is gonna go up, because the value is gonna go up. Bachelor's degrees are gonna be valuable; they always will be. But you have a master's and PhD, then that's gonna bring you way more value in the next 20 years. They're going to become obsolete. What I mean by obsolete is only the elite will have them. What do I mean by that? I'm not saying race, social class, and stuff, because like we said earlier, Black women hold the most college degrees in the United States. Less and less people are getting masters and PhDs. So if you have one, you're like in the 0.5% of the country. And their value is going to go up as the price of college goes up. So keep that in mind if you want to go to grad school in the next 10 years.
Ooh, I want my master's degree now more than ever.
Because again, the less people that have it, the more valuable you are. When you have doctor in front of your name, there's the average person you meet not even close to that. Okay, so having a PhD and a master's degree will make you more valuable as the years go on and the price of college goes up. I'm giving y'all a free game here on YouTube.
What if I change my name to doctor?
You can't do that. They will try to verify.
I was thinking about changing my first name just to DR. Period.
Let me tell you something, okay? You can try that, but they're gonna try to verify your academic history. When people say Dr. so and so is coming, they go to the university and they look you up, and they ask the university, did they graduate here? And the university pulls those records up, and they say yes or no. So you really can't just say you're a doctor and you're not a doctor, because that's kind of terrible. People hate you for that. Don't do that. I never recommend anybody does that. Don't listen to him, y'all. Please ma'am, please, sir,
I'm gonna take the long way.
or whoever watching in between, don't do that. Okay,
I'll study for 5 more years.
Just study for 5 more years, 6 more years, whatever how long you gotta do, however long your program is. Let me tell you something. Like I said, it's gonna be worth it because I just seen a stat that was like 2.5% of people in the United States own a master's degree right now. Out of the 350 million people we have in the country now, as of 2020 census, I think it's 350 million people now. Keep that in mind. Professor, before we go, I want to ask you now. We've been on a tangent about the community and all that stuff for like 45 minutes. I never asked the people, so what do you do outside of school that makes you happy?
What makes me happy? So outside of school, I like to go draw. I love to paint. I like to go on hikes. I like to go running. I like to work out. I like to play me some soccer. I love to hang out with my friends. Sometimes we go out to New Orleans, we go to Baton Rouge. I like to go to festivals, you know what I mean? I love to watch a lot of anime. But my favorite thing to do is to sit down on my couch and read. And I got a cat. So my cat be just hopping on my lap, you know what I'm saying? Make me feel sophisticated.
Wow, so you preach intelligence. Interesting.
Exactly.
You love to read?
I love to read.
Man. What book are you currently reading?
Right now I'm reading this book called The Boy Who's Raised as a Dog. So it's pretty much like this childhood psychologist, like he has like all a compilation of like a bunch of like people he's treated and whatnot, and it kind of looks into the insights of like cognitive development in children and how like trauma can affect you and how like
that sounds cool.
It is cool, like man, just leaving your baby alone for like a certain amount of hours for like in a day can lead them to develop like antisocial personality disorder, aka in colloquial terms sociopathy, you know what I mean? Because there's one case, like there was this kid, he was like 16, he sexually assaulted this girl who lived in his neighborhood and murdered her. And he was remorseless. He was manipulative. He was he was above average in IQ. He just sucked at school, whatever. But like, yeah, he was a terrible person. Like even at the court case, like the mom was crying. He was like, "Man, why are they so sad about? Like they're not the one who died." You know what I mean? But when researching, like he asked the main guy, the author, like he was working this case in the 90s. He asked the parents, like, "Hey, what happened? Like, how did you raise this kid?" And the mom was like, "Okay, so the first kid, he came out okay. I don't know what went wrong with him." But like the thing is, with the first kid, the mom had a support system. So the mom was kind of intellectually challenged. And so she needed her relatives and like, her sisters, aunts, all that stuff to like help raise the kid. But when they moved out to the city, the mom was just stuck with the baby boy, like the newborn, the kid who grew up to become the murderer, and the other baby, the older sibling, and the father was constantly working. So the mom who gets so overwhelmed with parenting, she'd like leave like the little baby boy alone for the house for hours and go walking with the other one. And then she'd come back. Eventually the baby stopped crying. So she thought like, oh, the baby stopped crying means everything's okay. You know what I mean? Like he's healed. But then the older the kid grew up, the more like aggressive, manipulative, like superficial he became. And that's how he developed that. All because the part of the brain that needs like attention, love, and all that wasn't nourished. So yeah. But it's an interesting book, you know what I mean? It has a lot of deep subjects in it. I'm not gonna lie, like, cause it hits me like a lot of these are true stories, So like, it makes me think like, damn, some crazy things be happening out there. And I also read this book about like this North Korean survivor. Like she got trafficked. Both her and her mom were sex trafficked. She watched her mom getting like assaulted. Her dad was like put in prison in Korea. It was a whole thing, bro. It was a whole thing, but it was inspirational then.
Damn.
But yeah, that's what I like to do. You know what I mean?
So, are you a gamer?
Yeah, well, I used to be a gamer. I have not gamed in like 2 years. Ever since college got serious.
So what's some of the gaming systems that you played on or used to play on?
Well, my first gaming system I remember was my PS2. My mom bought for me in 2005 for Christmas. And then I had a GameCube, I had a Wii, then I got a Nintendo 64, then I played on a Super Nintendo. But my favorite one though was the Wii. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, it was the GameCube because I used to have this WWE game, Day of Reckoning. Now that game was amazing, bro. Day of Reckoning. I don't know if you ever played it before.
Day of Reckoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, bro. That's my favorite WWE game, bro.
Sorry, I was getting the questions. I forgot that.
Nah, it's all good, bro. I'm just thinking about now. You got me reminiscing about that game, bro. I used to Triple H was my favorite character in the game. Triple H and Kane. Never cheated on those characters, bro. But currently I'm on the PS4. My favorite game right now, it has been my favorite game for the longest, and I don't think it's ever gonna change. Is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, I like that one. That was my favorite game on the PS4 as well. It was the best PS4 game I've ever got to experience single player games wise. It was beautiful. Like
It was
Rockstar's magnum opus, in my opinion. I think that was the best thing they've ever made. What I'll say is in what I want to say. So, have you played any of the recent wrestling games?
Bro, the last WWE game I played was 2K18. Yeah. And that's because my cousin had it. So I went over to his place. We played it, whatever. But yeah, I have not played anything recent when I tell you. Right?
So you didn't play the best one of the best games of the PS4 generation, WWE 2K19. People say that was University one of the best ones they made. And you haven't played any of the new ones yet.
No.
We're gonna change that one day.
I mean, you got it, huh?
Yeah, I have 22, 3, 4, and yeah, I will.
I mean, if you're trying to play one day, just call me over, bro.
Okay, I got it. We're gonna have to bring Festin back for a gaming session to show him WWE 2K24, guys, because he said he hasn't played it yet. So we're definitely gonna do that. I never knew that you haven't played since 2K18. That was 2017.
That was 2017.
Jesus Christ, bro. We're old.
High school, bro.
We're old, bro.
Man, but
So when's the last? Have you kept up with wrestling?
I haven't even kept up. I used to love wrestling.
When the last time you watched pro wrestling?
2017.
Well, I see why you left. 2017 was a dark year, and 18. Those were some of the toughest times to be a wrestling fan. Yeah. I'll say now, since then, a lot has changed. Vince McMahon's not there anymore. He's currently getting sued, might go to jail. Triple H is in charge now.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone to jail like earlier, bro.
Well, me too. Yeah, Triple H is in charge now. You probably don't even know any of these women that are on my shirt. You don't know these.
I only know Jade. That's it.
How you know Jade?
Well, an ex of mine was a heavy wrestling fan.
Oh, so she liked Jade.
Yeah.
Oh, I love all three of these. This one's my favorite. Bianca's. Bianca Belair. Woo, y'all.
Yeah, but me and my ex used to talk about wrestling and stuff. We used to keep up, especially.
You had a wrestling fan as an ex-girlfriend?
It was the dream.
Wrestling and anime girlfriend is heaven.
She was a wrestling and anime girlfriend.
What happened? Why did y'all not?
Well, just saying we had some views which were not compatible with each other, and we just couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to get we don't get in business on here.
No.
But I was just like, what happened? Because you had the dream candidate for any wrestling anime fan.
Now the crazy thing is, we were best friends for a good amount of time.
Well, yeah, I think that was the mistake. You don't.
No.
Sometimes you don't date your best friends. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, then we decided to date after high school, and that's it was a little rocky relationship.
Yeah, it's hard to date your best friend.
It really is.
That's why I tell people all the time, really watch that, because if you're close to your best friends and you want to keep that relationship going, because if y'all break up, you'll never go back to that bond with your best friend ever again. I've lost all my bonds as best friends. Of the women I did that were my best friends, we were not best friends no more because we dated. So you got to keep that in mind. That's why I said, you know, that what song was that said about talking about, you know, making sure your friend. If I ever fall in love again by Shy.
Oh yeah.
Next time she'll be a friend. I was like, not my best friend. She'll be a friend. The next time she will be a friend, not my best friend. No, I'm not doing it. I don't sing that best friend part anymore.
I mean, I do feel like your goal should be your best friend. You know
well, yes. After the relationship happens, correct. Not before. Well, like, what if y'all have a best friend type of vibe, and then like something happens in a relationship, you won't get that vibe back again. You might lose that girl forever.
Yes, that's happened to me.
Yeah, and that's why I try to not do it no more, unless like really the girl makes the first move.
Bruh.
And most women are not making the first move.
That's true. I mean,
the average woman does not make the first move. No, I say that all the time. But the last two exes I have made the first move.
I mean, would you prefer that they make the first move, or you just don't care as long as
I prefer it because look at the climate of men these days. That you could be called weird and like, you know, they might think that you know want to do something to them because you do make the first move sometimes, depending on the woman that you're talking to. But any woman with common sense should know the difference between flirting and actually doing something. But I prefer them to make the first move if possible. Show me that you're interested. You know, if I ask for your number, are you going to say yes or no? That's going to determine if you're interested in me or not. Because I look at interested. Do you want to have a conversation with me? Am I being annoying to you? I can read body language really, really good. So I know when someone doesn't want to talk to me. Promise I'd rather have it on Monday. And I know when someone does want to talk to me. You just gotta when you're an experienced dater. I hate saying that term, but when you've dated,
he's been around,
dated since high school freshman year, and this is the first year I have not dated someone since 20. Was it when I started high school? 2016 or something like that. 17. This is the first year since 2016. I don't have a girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend every year since 2016. This is the first year I have not. I have not kissed. I have not hugged or cuddled with a woman like that in a relationship since 2016.
I am sorry to interrupt you, but I realized I'm in Spanish for I have an appointment, a medical appointment in Baton Rouge at 6 o'clock.
You didn't tell me?
I did not tell you. No, I was so excited to be on here, bro.
I forgot. I didn't. Well, you didn't ever tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I gotta roll too because I gotta get back to the house. So thank y'all for so much for watching this video. We did great on time, and it's exactly how much time I want to have anyway. So thank y'all for joining us. Festin, if you want the people to follow you on any social media, even though you barely post on there, what social media you want to have real quick?
My Instagram is Namwamba Osimbo.
I'm gonna just see on links.
Yeah, go ahead. Send the link. Yeah, please.
Yeah, because it's very long. But I'll send his Instagram, whatever he sends me, I'll send that. Y'all like this video? Subscribe to the channel down below. I've been your host, Coletrain. This has been the Train Talks podcast. Thank you, Festin, again for joining along. He'll be back for gaming sessions.
Thank y'all for having me here, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a pleasure of mine, and we will see you guys in the next Coletrain interviews and whenever Festin come join us, because we're going to expose him to WWE 2K24.
Yes, sir.
Yes, he needs to do it because he hasn't played a WWE game in like almost 6 years, and that's kind of concerning. We're gonna get him back in the mode for our next time on the channel. But thank y'all so much again. Be phenomenal, be forgotten, and y'all have a great rest of your day, weekend, or whenever you're watching this podcast. See y'all then. Be great.